Righty, yo, UFC Fight Night, first one of the year. Let's go. Let's get our bets down. Last week we fucking 4.5. I'm gonna try not to swear actually, it's a Saturday. People might be with their kids or stuff. If anyone's lit, this is more for me. It's to track everything I do. And this week, what do we do? What do we do, boyo? We turned a £2 to £9 last week. And the aim was to turn it to 4. So we turned £4 to £8 this week. And if we fail, we've still got 5 spare to try and turn 4 to 8 next week. Until we get to $500,000. It is so on. Up the boyos. Let me get a little bit of a... We were winning last week. Let's fucking go. The stars are aligned. We're winning this week. Now I have the bets that are favourites that you should and the underdogs that could. This is becoming a constant theme. And the favourites that should are looking good this week. They add up to a 1.98, but on Bet365 you get a 7.5% boost that takes it to 2.05. If you know the card already, I'll say it's Horiguchi, Olegzek, Donchenko and Javid Basharat. They get me at 2.05. I'll speak about what I add on later. But right, that is the lock bet that goes to 1.98, that is 2.05. And we take off £4 this week and we make it to £8. Or you take your £20 and you turn it to £25. No, not £25. Maybe £21. Yeah. So you double up whatever you're putting on. If you're a £50 kind of guy, you're going to get £100 back. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's get that $500,000, mate. Now, I will say with this card, starts at 11:30. The last fight's at 4:30. It is in the UFC Apex. So, I'm going to be talking about under and over under 2.5 round bets with this one. Because when it's in the Apex, way more likely. Smaller cage, and people are way more comfortable to be as good as they are at training and finish people. So, there's a few under 2.5 bets that I would recommend for people this week. And that would be the Amir Albazi. This is going from the top to the bottom, which is the final fights to the first fights. Under 2.5 at 3.02, Amir Albazi and Kyoji Horiguchi. Very possible. Think that's a finish. Under 2.5, 3.75, that is on the odds. And we know the 3.75s are... what was I saying there? Sorry, I had to cancel my alarm. What was I saying? These two are finishers. So we got a 17-1 and a 14-0 fighter in the Apex, where it's very easy to finish each other. They are bantamweights, 135, but I feel like there's a strong win coming from either one of them here. So under 2.5 at 3.75. Now the numbers when I'm saying 3.75, that means you put on £1, you get £3.75 back. You put £10, you get £37.50 back. You see what I'm saying? Another under 2.5 at 1.80 is Dustin Jacoby and Julius Walker. That's a good one. Now I've put this one for over 1.5, which is 2.05, and it's Alex Morono and Daniel Donchenko. Now Daniel Donchenko is a favourite and a lock to win, but Alex Morono is a seasoned vet, so I could see him taking it just past the 7.5 minute mark and getting finished in like the 9th minute. Another under 2.5 rounds is Javid Basharat and Gianni Vasquez, who's a late replacement for Said Nurmagomedov. So Javid Basharat was versing a Nurmagomedov, and it's been swapped for some Gianni Vasquez, who's just a regional fighter, very last minute, and who missed weight. Now you're telling me that fight goes longer than 2.5 rounds? Nah, man, it shouldn't do. Javid looks really bad, and the other guy looks really good. But that is 2.85 at under 2.5 rounds. It's crazy that that's that odds for that, because he's such a late replacement. So I don't really understand that one. And then there's the over 2.5 rounds at 2.20 for Nikolai Veretnikov and Nico Price. Obvious reasons, Nico Price can just fucking shit, but hard to finish. That's as simple as that gets. But right, let's work our way through the fights. I'm just going to start from the bottom, because it seems I'm always writing these off the betting, either off Topology or the betting card, from bottom to top, and then the fight card just changes last minute, which is very annoying. We'll say the weigh-ins for these fights were zesty as they come. Proper strange zesty flavours from Vinicius Oliveira and what's his name, Barry Alt, who's versing Electric. Just like walking up face to face, no one's really around, there's quiet, and it's like, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you so bad. I'm like, bruh, I know fake confidence is loud, or whatever they say, or yeah, fake confidence is loud. Yeah, well, whispering's gay. What are you whispering to your opponent for? What makes you get 2 inches away, face to face? Well, I know 2 inches is massive to some of you. What makes you get 2 inches close to your face and whisper to another man? That's gay. Don't be doing it at weigh-ins again, or face-offs. Don't be doing it at face-offs again. Not happy about that. Zesty as hell. Right, first fight. Claudia Shigulya. 1 sec, I'm gonna load this up so I can see people's heights and weights. 1 second. Just 1 second. Oh, I'm tired from this week, man. January is exhausted, man. Right, we have Claudia Sigulya, some Polish bird, versus Priscilla Cachoeira, who's a Brazilian bird. One's called Zombie Girl and 37 years old, and Claudia is 27 years old and pretty hot, man. Pretty hot. I know we shouldn't be sexualising these women, but fuck it, man. There's no way they're not doing this to us. And she's hot. So Priscilla gets my vote for this. See the size. Size and reach pretty much the same. It is what it is. Claudia's the favourite, which is good, because Cachoeira is older, beastier for a woman, more seasoned, and Brazilian, so likely on the sauce, especially at the end of her age. And she's the underdog at 2.30, and she is added to the underdogs that could. Let's go, Priscilla Cachoeira. Not much to say, man. Let's get past these women fights. I can't be doing with women fights and shit fights. Just get over it. Let's go past. Muin Gafarov versus Jacob Wiklacz. I don't even know what nationality that one is. Versus Polish dude. Both 29s, both pretty much same age. Muin Gafarov came in at a heavy... He missed weight by 6 pounds. Which I think is a piss take. That's a proper piss. Oh, that is a big difference, man. He missed weight, but I don't think that's a sign that you lose all the time. I'm also sure he's I'm sure he's a replacement fight. Muin is a replacement. But missing by 6 pounds when you're fighting at 135 pounds is a lot. And I think there's something like a 70% win ratio for people who missed weight. Because obviously, you know the cost it's coming at, and you know you have to fight for more money. Imagine knowing you're already earning 20% less. You'd be well pissed off. So I just don't believe that they do it. I think it's tactical cheating. Thinking, he looks beat up from this weight cut. I still feel great. Fuck it. Let's just miss weight and then take the win bonus, because the win bonus will make up for it, because I feel great and he looks like he's on death's door. Doesn't matter how good he comes back, I'm going to batter him. And for that sneakiness is why I choose Muin Gafurov. He's the favourite. As I said, the odds are 1.72 for Muin and 2.10 for Jacob Whitclatch. Neither of them are in favourites that should or underdogs that could. Next, we have women fight. Kong Wang. What a great Wang Kong. Oh my God, let's go. And Eduardo Mora. Both got one loss each. They're both 100 and... They both missed weight. Did they both miss weight for this? They must both be on their period. Wicked. Kong Wan is 1.28. Eduardo Mora is 3.75. But I will always say that if a woman misses weight, chances are she's on a period or it's something wrong with her hormones and stuff. So I think someone, if I remember correctly, someone has actively followed all the female fighters to a statistician point to follow when their menstrual cycles are and betting around their menstrual cycles. Now, let me tell you, if this carries on, I'm going to be watching to find out their menstrual cycles. Because I remember watching it and thinking, this dude's so on it. And he was winning, I swear it was like 85% was based off their menstrual cycle. Now, come on. It's got to play a factor. It's got to play a factor. Considering how much... It's got to play a factor considering how much testosterone plays a factor in men when someone's lower than the other. So when they're fucking struggling with their hormones, it's got to play a factor. But considering they both missed weight, they're both on the blob. So I'm going with Kong Wang just for sheer name. We love a Wang Kong. Wang Kong the Joker? Let's go for it. She's 33. Eduardo's 31. They're both the same size. It's completely same. It's women fight. Can go either way, as obvious as you want. So if you want an underdog bet, Eduardo Mora. But I am choosing Kong Wang. Wang Kong. Let's go. Let's go, Wang Kong. Next we have Javid Basharat versus Gianni Vasquez. I don't know what Basharat is again. Vasquez is some unranked Mexican. He's got a mustache. I hate men with just a mustache. No, I don't hate them. I don't trust them. You know what I mean? Somewhat sus. And I just see them as the same category as women with a fringe. Like, women with a fringe and a man with a mustache are just the same category. Stay away. Keep them out of your life. Risky business. Now, Gianni could be on steroids. That's what I've only just thought about this. Coming from the regional scene, there is always more of a risk that they're going to be on the sauce when they first arrive. Seen it tons of times. But Javid Basharat is good. He's had his 2 losses out of his system. He's taller, only by a little bit. He made the weight. Gianni didn't make weight. And again, 6 pounds at bantamweight is a big weight. So I went with Muin Gafurov, but I'm going to go with the opposite because I think Javid should just take this because this guy's jumping in the last second. We have seen some people jump in last second because they're in the prime of their life. This is a tough one to take because I'm going Javid Basharat. He's the favourite by 1.14. That is his betting odds. And Gianni is 6.0. And he's missed weight. I am adding Javid at 1.14 to the favourites that should. So we're sticking with it. That's the lock. But I'm also adding that it should be under 2.5 rounds at 2.85. And that'll be chucked in with the locks. But to add, we're going to add 2 under 2.5s to the locks to make it 16.07. And then we're going to add something later on and something later on. Basically, I'm going to add to the lock bets because they're more likely to come in. So when we add more risky things to them, We got more chance of doing them. And then there's just the wild, wild underdogs that could. And if you're feeling crazy, put them on. Or put like a fivefold of the 7 picks that I've got in underdogs that could. And there's something like a possible 300 to 1. Altogether, it's 2,164 to 1. Jesus Christ. That's how underdog that is. But we like to have a little crazy bet on the side, don't we? A little crazy on the side. Let's go. I don't know what accent that is. My accents are terrible. I'm sure you'll tell me next week, Lee. Where am I? Bruna Brazil and Ketlin Souza. Good. We've got another woman in here who's an underdog in Bruna Brazil at 2.30. We've got Ketlin Souza at 1.62. And Bruna Brazil is going to be being added to the underdogs that could. And now I am setting up 2 underdogs that could, that are pretty likely that come in. Bruna Brazil and P. Cachoeira, one of the first woman fight, from the first woman fight. If we add them together, they are 5.29. It's a nice bet. And if we add them with the under 2.5 rounds, Bachelet and Vasquez, from the fight beforehand, that's a 15.07. That's good, man. That's good. That's good for some unlikely shit, that is. Let me skip back up. Let me go up. Ketlin Souza's 5'3", so she's a bit shorter, a bit less reach. Bruna Brazil's 5'6". 32 and 30. Both on weight. Yo, Bruna Brazil's hotter, man. Bruna Brazil's hotter, but she's bigger. And we love big, hot women. So, we're picking Bruna Brazil. She's got Brazil in her name, man. We all love Brazil baddies. So let's chuck her in the underdogs that could. We're going Bruna Brazil. Next, we got Nikolai Varetnikov versus Nico Price. Both 36. I expect a dog shit fight, to be honest. But, like, great if you're really casual. I expect it to be terrible technique, but entertaining. That's what I meant by crap. Or if I say it's crap, it still has potential to be entertaining, but you're going to learn how to be a worse fighter from both these fighters, in my opinion. They're both pretty equal. I've got the over 2.5 at 2.20. If you want to bet on that, I think it's likely to come in. They're both 36. They're not finishing each other. They've been doing it long enough to survive to the decision, and they're both crap enough to not finish the other. Is what it is. We move. Next one. Alex Morono versus Danny Donchenko. Now, this is hard for me, yeah? I think Danny Donchenko's Ukraine. Alex Morono's 35 and Danny Donchenko's 24. Now, I like Alex Morono to do seasoned veteran crap stuff to beat people. That's what he's called, the Great White. He's so slow, but somehow still wins. And he does do well for underdog wins. So, I mean, Danny Donchenko is 1.14 and Alex Morono is 6.0. The over 1.5 rounds is 2.05 for this. And I think it could be over 1.5 because Alex Morono is good enough to make it last that long. But I do worry, if you bet on that, Daniil Donchenko might not win the fight. Alex Morono might pull off some strange decision. That is why I've not added it in to the lock bets. But it is like it's got potential. So if you just want to do the unders and overs, I'd add that in. But Alex Morono he's admitted he's just a teacher. He teaches MMA. He loves teaching MMA, and he jumps in every now and again for extra cash. So the UFC just keep him around. He's crap, but the UFC keep him around because he's good to jump in at any moment. So they just ring him up and be like, you're always training because you're always teaching. Can you fight this guy? Whereas Danny Donchenko's 11 years younger than him. And like, I want to knock someone out. Alex Morono's going, yeah, man, cool. I can do that. Yeah, it's no problem. I can't pick that. You're a teacher, you're a has-been, I like you. I'd pick you against someone who doesn't finish people. But Danny Donchenko is going to try and finish him. And he'll try and finish him quick. And that is why he's in the lock bets at 1.14. Daniil Donchenko. Next we have Dustin Jacobet and Julius Walker. And I'm sure this is a late replacement. Dustin Jacobet is a replacement for someone against Julius Walker. Now, Julius Walker is very new to the UFC. He's 26. Dustin Jacoby is 37. But Dustin Jacoby is not like Alex Morono. He can finish people. And I think he's actually really good. He's a sick fighter. He's the favourite here at 1.57. But that has gone down. He was 1.44 a week ago. So that the bookies know something I don't. And that is why Dustin Jacoby is not in the lock bets. Because Dustin Jacoby and Jailton Almeida definitely have potential to be in the lock bets this week. But they are both late replacement fighters with severe risks. And the betting companies have gone against them within this week. So whatever the betting companies, they've learnt a statistic we don't know. You know what I mean? They know if their missus has pissed them off. They know if the weight cut was struggle. They know if they've got an injury. They know when loads of bets are being put on in a place for these people. So they lower the odds for them or something. They know something that we don't know. And that is why I've not added them in the lock picks. But if you believe in Dustin Jacob and Jailton Almeida, add them to the lock picks. You got a nice taster. What would that be? 1.5 times 2 times 1.5 is 3. Times it again by another 1.5. 3.5. What's 1.5 at 4.5? So it'll be around 4.5, 5.0 for all if you add them two onto the lock bets. I am picking Dustin Jacoby, but he's a great striker, but he comes with a risk now that he's potential to be knocked out. I'm hoping that he truly believes he'll finish him and he'll want to get the job done because he's a late replacement and it's in the apex. They're big dudes. They're going to land fights. They're going to land punches on each other. As a late replacement, he should be looking for a finish so that he's not fucking tired and beat up and shit fight. So the under 2.5 rounds is 1.80. I think that's another good one to pick here. Now, Julius Walker's 26. The only way I think he could win is from fear and age. Maybe he's just like... They're doing this. Maybe... Oh my God, he's called Juicebox. He's called Juicebox. He's an inch taller with 2-inch better reach. He's called Juicebox. I don't like the fact that you're called Juicebox. It means that you could have took the sauce. Strange name to have. Strange name to have. But Julius Walker's only had 8 fights. Dustin Jacoby is seasoned. I mean, he's got 31 fights in MMA, and I'm sure he's had loads of kickboxing fights. I'm pretty sure he was a kickboxer. But Julius Walker's had 8 fights. The only thing I could see him is being so fearful versus someone so seasoned that fear creates power, and he could knock him out. It's in the apex. They've got nowhere to run. Dustin Jacoby's 1.57. Julius Walker's 2.50. Don't pick these fights either way. I have got Julius Walker in my underdogs that could. For the same reason I've just stated. He's younger. Anyone can get knocked out in the apex. But I am picking Dustin Jacoby as my pick. Because I'm trying to build a solid amount of picks over all the fights. What am I? I'm 15 and 23 over the last two. 15 out of 23 in the last 2 UFC cards. So that's not bad. Pretty sure it's, yeah. Is it 15 out of 23 or 15 out of 21? Something like that. I want to keep it up. Next fight we go to. Now this is a big one, and I don't know why I want to pick it, but I'm taking mad risks. I'm taking tons of risks, because he's the smaller dude. He's the smaller dude, he's the younger dude. Less reach. And massive underdog. We have Jean Matsumoto versus Farid Basharat. Jin Matsumoto is 17-1 is his record. Farid Basharat is 14-0. They're both at like around the 30th position ranked in the world. They're both around 30th. You know what I mean? So they're both mid fighters with no real losses, only one loss between the pair of them. And that is why I'm picking Matsumoto. He's felt the thing of a loss. He doesn't want to add more losses to him, surely. And I actually really believe he wants a panic win. I think he's fearful here. Because even when I watched the face-off, I was like, yo, bro, you look panicked, man. But sometimes I like that. And I've just had a feeling with Matsumoto. He is a massive underdog at 3.40, even raising from underdog that was 3.00. With Farid Basharat starting the week at 1.40 and now ending the week at 1.33. There's something they don't know, the odds makers, but I imagine it's just a lot of money's gone on Farid and Javid, two brothers on the cards where they're high favourites. I imagine people are just picking them and being like, yeah, of course brothers win. Brothers on a card, brothers win. But I am going with Jean Matsumoto. There's barely any analysts picking Jean Matsumoto, but there's something I feel is a panic win here. And I also think it will be a fight that's under 2.5 rounds at 3.75. I've added that into... No, that's not part of the lock. That is part of the underdogs that could. Under 2.5 rounds is an underdog bet that could come in. I won't put it as a lock because they're both good fighters that haven't been beaten. So it's very likely that they go to decision. But under 2.5 rounds for two fighters that know getting solid win over each other counts for something. In the Apex, I always believe there's more finishes in the Apex, so I would choose it. I'm choosing Matsumoto, and on to the next fight. Mikhail Oleksiejczyk versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Now, how old are they? These two are both old. No, Oleksiejczyk is only about to turn 31 in 2 weeks. About to turn his birthday in 2 weeks. Now I know it's his birthday, I feel like he's a definite lock. He is, what's his odds? 1.18 from 1.33 at the start of the week. That means he's a big favourite. They know something about him. Marc Barriault started off the week at 3.40, ended it at 5.00. Now, Oleksiejczyk has switched over to the Fighting Nerds, and he's already tough anyway. He's as tough as they come. So tough people need nerds the same way nerds need tough people. Whatever you are in your training naturally, don't go join a gym that are what you are already naturally, yeah? If you're a nerd when it comes to training and fighting, go find some tough people, because chances are you've got absolute zero dog in you. And that's not offence, that's just the way the world works. No one is filled with all the stats full. And if you're more of a dog, rather than training to be a brain-dead CTE cunt by the end of your life, oh my God, go find some nerds that can teach you techniques and stuff, because you're not going to lose that dog. You're not going to lose Polish dog in you if you've got Polish dog in you. It'd help you to go do some training, some educate yourself. That is cool. If you're highly educated, go get some dog in you. You're going to die when someone dogs you out. This is an opinion I have for people I teach as well. Anyone who asks in the sport, that is just my opinion. You don't need to be around more of what you are, but you don't need to go to a gym that dims what you are already. Don't go to a nerd gym where they're like, stop doing all that. Stop doing all that. We think you're being rather mean and explosive because you're not doing moves the way we predict them, and we're nerds. That is dimming light. They should go to nerds and they should be like, dude, you got no technique, but you're a dog. You're a dog, man. That is a nerd gym you go to get your dog in you. And but also, don't go to a dog gym as a nerd where they just give you CTE. Go to a dog gym that's still smart enough to go, wow, dude, man, you're smart. We got smart Jeffrey over here as well, who fucking comes up with all our next moves. It's wicked having you here. Oh, we're going to make a man out of you. This is good for you. This is good for your training. But right, that's enough fucking bullshit talking about. I am not choosing Marc-Andre Barriault because I said earlier, gay standoff. What are you doing whispering to another man? Imagine me just being here, whispering to you. It's just kind of zesty, isn't it? Oh my God, man. I'm so going to beat that ass. I'm going to beat that ass so bad. That is how he spoke to him. Zester. We don't vote for Zester. Cannot pick it. I'm choosing Oleksiejczuk. Guys like had his arm broke, not tapped and stuff like that. He's just... And he battered someone. Who did he batter in his last fight? Let me see this, because I watched that. And I remember watching it live and thinking, yes, bro. Fighting Nerds has done you solid. Gerald Meerschaert and Cedric Dumas. He's finished in the first round in his last 2 fights. Now, I also remembered that I thought, he's on the sauce now. He's with the Fighting Nerds. Because I think the Fighting Nerds are on the sauce. And I think they're being... Because smart people normally try to get their ways around it. Smart people start talking shit how, like, oh, you should have always been doing this. Like, oh, it's just what everyone does. It's the smart thing to do. Cool. I mean, obviously, Cedric Dumas, literally in his name, and Gerald Meerschaert are pretty easy to finish in the round 1. But Marc-Andre Barriault is not like someone who doesn't get to be classed as them, because he's just as crap. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to look at his last. He's Canadian. Listen, Marc-Andre Barriault is losing this fight. We don't go with the Canadians at all, ever here. Ever. He did beat Bruno Silva. He's lost in the first round twice in the last 5 fights. Now, yes, he's won in the first round in one of them last 5 fights. But, Canadian, we're going against this. We're going against this. This fight, have I picked this to be under... This fight will be under 2.5 rounds. One of them's finishing each other. I don't know what the odds are on it, because I haven't got them up in front of me or written down. But I feel like it was like a 1.80 to be under 2.5 rounds. But I am picking Michael Oleksiejczuk. I am picking Polish over Canadian every day of the week. We move. Oleksiejczuk is in the lock bets as well, by the way. We got Jailton Almeida versus Rizvan Kuniev. Now, I think this is a massive mismatch. Jailton Almeida is boring, but it's boring that works. The only people that have beat him is like literally the top cream of the crop. Do you know what I'm saying? They're the only ones that are going to beat him. And Rizvan Kuniev is pretty new to the UFC, if I remember correctly. Russian, was sourced up, probably struggling to be sourced up now he's in the UFC. Always a problem with heavyweights. He's a solid 20 pounds heavier than Jailton Almeida. But Jailton Almeida can handle that. And it doesn't matter when your weight is kind of like steroid fat compared to Jailton Almeida steroid shredded. He's shorter by an inch, weighs less, but he's got a longer reach. Interesting. That is probably just because of the back fat, though. As I said, Rizwan Kuniyev's the back fat guy. Now, Jailton Almeida did get put in as a late replacement, but there's no way, after his loss to Volkov, he's in bad shape or taking a fight where he can completely drop from the top versing this guy. If he drops from the top, he knows he runs a risk of getting fired for being boring. Because he's got perfect grapplers. He's word perfect to watch and learn how to grapple, especially at heavyweight, and keep people down. But he's also good to learn how to be entertaining, because he is not entertaining. When you've got the positions that he's got, you've got to be able to hold, let go, and land the punches and just make it look entertaining. He tries to literally win by he tries to win an IBJJF points decision in an MMA fight. It's crazy. It's not going to work forever. He'll always get battered by the top of the crop, cream of the crop. That is just my opinion of it. Doesn't stand a chance with certain 3 or 4 fighters at the top. But I am going to pick him. He is the favourite at 1.62. Could just be a crap, boring fight, or a fight where Kuniev just quits and gives him the choke. Just quits and gives him the choke. They're going to have to get close. It's the Apex card, so it's going to just be a lot of fighting on the floor, this. I choose Almeida, 1.62. Let's go. Now we're into a fight I really like the look of, because I love Kyoji Horiguchi. This guy's sick. Fought everywhere. I'm pretty sure he had his stint in the UFC before. Kyoji Horiguchi versus Amir Albazi. Yeah? Now these are... What are these? Are these flyweights? Flyweights. Kyoji's 35. And he's the moderate favourite. He's the favourite. Amir Albazi's 32. He's the underdog. They're both the same height. Kyoji's got a little bit short of a reach. But Kyoji was training where... Who was the flyweight champ? Alexandra Pantoja. So he's training that same place forever. Even used him as a training man for a long time whilst he was in another promotion. Which was he in? He was in that Asia promotion. Maybe it was One Championship or something. But he's good. Horiguchi's good. Fight for title today good. And that's what I believe is going on with him. And that is why he's in my lock bet, is because I think he should be fighting for a title. And I also think under 2.5 rounds at 3.02, whoa, we add in that in the lock bet as well. Because Horiguchi knows he gets a finish, he gets to replace his teammate, really. He gets no qualms. There's no trouble or drama of him versus Pantoja in the gym now, because Pantoja's out, injured. So if he finishes Amir Albazi, bang, title shot. Make it, because Horiguchi is sick. He's so much fun to watch. This fight has potential to be amazing. Now, Amir Albazi is 17-2. So there's potential to lose. There's potential that he tries to make a boring decision to win. But I also think if he does that and doesn't get involved in just a mad scrap in the Apex, it'll only lower his stock. If you're boring in the Apex, they give you no stock at real main events, actually in cities. So I'm going to have to go against him. Choosing Kyoji Horiguchi at the under 2.5, and we add that into the lock bets. Old Man Beast for the win. Oh, by the way, their odds were Amir Albazi is 3.75 and Kyoji is 1.28. We're on to our main fight now. It's crap. I hate Mario Bautista. He's 16-3 is his record. He's 1.66. That's the odds for him to win. They're a £135 fight, and he's versing Vinicius Oliveira, who's 2.25, who's drastically come down. That he's underdog, but it's come down. So you're getting less odds. So he's less of an underdog. And he's 23-3. So it's strange. They've both got 3 losses each. Vinicius got a lot more wins. But he was zesty as hell. He's another one that got real closeness. I'm gonna whip your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm coming for your ass. Bro, why are you talking to fighters like this? When I see this, I think, you know what? I think I'd rather a headbutt. I'd rather Arman headbutt me than Vinicius Oliveira walk up. And I'm pretty sure Mario Bautista went, dude, like, we're having a fight. Mario Bautista basically reacted like, mate, you're being too like, bro, what are you doing? You're being well zesty. And Vinicius is there with like his little grin. This weird grin, man. Everything I'm saying makes me go against Vinicius Oliveira, but he is good, and I hate Mario Bautista, so I'm choosing Vinicius Oliveira, and I'm believing that he's the £135 Michael Morales. He's the zesty Brazilian that's going to get the win. More likely that he's on the sauce. That's what I believe, and I am adding him into underdogs that could. He goes down as my 5th underdogs that could pick. But right, that is all the fights done. I don't need to explain too much. Crap fight night. This is just about getting some uphill money in the bets. It's about doubling up them bets. You know what I mean, mate? You know what I fucking mean? But right, favourites that should. Horiguchi, Oleksiejczuk, however you say it, Donchenko, and Javid Basharat at 1.98. But Bet365 give you a 7.5% bonus. That takes it to 2.05. If we add in just one under 2.5 for Horiguchi, under 2.5 is under 2.5 rounds, then we have 5.40. If we add just the under 2.5 for Javid Basharat, you get 5.90. So that's a good way to put your lock bets up. If we add both of them under 2.5 rounds, we take our lock bet from 2.05 to 16.07. This is an excellent add. Now, if we add in the Dustin Jacoby and Julius Walker under 2.5 rounds at 1.80, we change that 16.07 to a 28.93. Very good to go, that is. And lastly, we can add on, to make that lock bet even bigger, Jailton Almeida to win. Turns it to 47.01. These are crazy odds for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that I believe are definitely coming in. And when I say definitely, I mean above 75% chance. I think there's an above 75% chance of all 8 things I've listed off there. That's Horiguchi, Oleksiejczuk. Wait, I'll list the under 2.5s with it as well. Horiguchi and under 2.5 rounds. Oleksiejczuk to win. Donchenko to win. Javid Basharat and under 2.5 rounds for that fight. The Jacoby versus Walker fight being under 2.5 rounds. And Jailton Almeida to win. Drinking too much glass bottle Fanta. My voice sounding strange. And that is your lock bets. Turning them from 2.05 to 16.07, 28.93 and 47.01. Remember, all them points, they're just from £1. So every time I name something with a point, it's just what would the pound give you back. Now, if you're feeling like being crazy with your underdogs, I'm gonna list these underdogs in ranks of how likely I think they are to happen. Yeah? Which means I am adding Julius Walker to win last and John Matsumoto to win last. The first ones I'm going with. Now you can pick, because women fights always go either way. I make a lot of money winning, betting on women as underdogs. Because normally, like this, if there's 3 women's fights, you can pick 3 underdogs and put a twofold on it, because chances are 2 of them will win. Because the women fights is just to throw it in the air and see who wins, especially when it's decisions. So I'm going with Bruna Brazil and whatever her name is, Cachoeira. I don't know, Priscilla Cachoeira. Bruna Brazil and Priscilla Cachoeira. Now together as underdogs, they hit a 5.29. Now 2 fights coming in for your underdogs is very likely. So if you want to lock in at that, that is a great lock in. And I've also wrote to lock in, to add to that, is Javid Basharat and what's his name again? Gianni Vasquez. That fight to be under 2.5 rounds at 2.85 makes it a 15.07 bet. Now the next thing I'm going to add to underdogs that could, I will list the fighters in order of Vinicius Oliveira, John Matsumoto, and Julius Walker. So together they are the 5 fighters that are in underdogs that could. So if you have feelings for them fighters, pick them. But I'm going to give you my underdogs that could in order. And you can stop where you want and put the bet on there. I'm going Bruna Brazil, Priscilla Cachoeira, and then I'm adding under 2.5 rounds for the Javid Basharat and Vasquez fight to take it to 15.07. And then I'm adding over 1.5 rounds for Olachechik and Barriul that takes it to a 34.97 per pound. And then I'm going to add under 2.5 rounds for Matsumoto and Basharat fight, which takes it to 131.16. So there's five underdog picks there that take it to 131. Then I add my 6th one, which is Vinicius Oliveira. And that takes it to a 295 to 1 bet for all of them to come in. When we add John Matsumoto, takes it to 865 to 1 to win. When we add Julius Walker, takes it to 2,164.23 to 1. Yeah? Now, within them picks, I have chosen a 5-fold of 7. So 5 of these 7 things coming in. 5 of the 7 picks. Why is it 7? I'm sure that was 8. Oh, well, I did it. I checked it on Bet365. And if you pick a 5-fold of your 7 picks, which means 5 have to win out of all the 7, and you put £5 on it, it is likely that you could win anywhere between £17 and £105 per £5 that you put on. Now, that's 5 underdog things that are semi-likely. Do we have any clashing bets here? No. There are no clashing bets between the favourites that should and the underdogs that could. So you could happily bet on all of these things, knowing that they don't cancel out each other. That if something happens in the favourites that should, it doesn't count your underdogs that could bet out. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 types of bets that you can put on the favourites that should, and a fair few bets that you could put on underdogs that could. What's that at? 49 minutes? Bastard, man. I tried to make this 20 minutes. It's so hard. I end up waffling to myself, you know what I mean? But right, I'm off. Time for me to eat and smoke and sleep and nap, ready for the UFC. We talk again. We talk again tomorrow. I tell you what, I'm meant to keep my beard because I want to do the Grapple Fest card. But if I start losing, I'm shaving this beard off in shame. So it's gone. I'm shaving it in shame. Peace out.